must the man walk down?
May, 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 may. Kind of nasal right up in front. Once he had it in his voice on the vowel sounds, then I would have him sing the lyrics. Hi, I'm Eric Vetro. I'm a vocal coach and a voice teacher. I've worked with a lot of different singers like Sabrina Carpenter, John Legend, Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello Rosalía, a lot of different movies. Most recently, Wicked with Ariana Grande and Jonathan Bailey, A Complete Unknown with Timothée Chalamet and Monica Barbaro, and Maria with Angelina Jolie. When I first met Ariana Grande, she was very young. She was about 13 years old. And I knew immediately this girl was going to be a star. I mean, she had so many gifts. To begin with, that incredible voice, probably the widest range of anybody I've ever worked with. And she also had a great sense of pitch, a really keen sense of pitch, which is really important when you're singing live. And she also had a lot of musicality inside of her. It's been a really joyous experience, especially, of course, this year, because this was her big dream to work on the movie of Wicked.
What is this feeling so sudden and new?
I felt the moment I laid eyes on you.
I always start every lesson with breathing exercises. So it was the same with Ariana. Even though we've done them for years and years, because like I said, we started when she was 13, I still want to do them just so that it puts it into the person's mind, into their subconscious that now we're going to be singing. We take deeper breaths than we do when we're normally talking. So we would always start with the breathing exercises, especially for some song like No One Mourns the Wicked. I mean, that song is pretty epic. So what I'd like everyone to do is to put one hand on your chest, one hand on your abdominal muscles, right around your belly button. Take a deep breath in, and as you do, allow your abdominal muscles to expand as you breathe in, and then instead of just letting all the air go out, like that, take that deep breath in and then make a hissing sound. So it provides a little resistance to the breath so it lasts longer. And that's what your vocal cords do. They provide a little resistance to the breath. So hiss as long as you can. Keep going at home. Keep going till you're out of breath. And then do it again. Take another deep breath, and this time try to expand your lungs even more. Try to really take in a deep breath and hiss again. And see if you can hiss even longer than you did the first time. A great second exercise would be to take another deep breath in, allowing your abdominal muscles to slightly expand again. This time though, instead of a long steady hiss, go so you're pulling your abdominal muscles in like this, creating those little accents. That way you really connect with your breathing support muscles, but also you're ready for a higher note, a stronger note, a louder note. Or even if you're on stage and you're yelling into the mic, "Hey LA!" You won't wear out your voice if you're connected to your breathing support muscles. You'll be able to sing for a much longer period of time. So we started working on helping her high notes get stronger, fuller, with a little bit more vibrato as opposed to what she had been using for her pop music. So for example, we started with a lot of slides stretching up and down. Ee, ooh.
These things are sent to try us.
Then we would do a lot of exercises. Because she already had such a wide range, instead of the normal that a lot of people do with her, because she has such a wide range and because she wanted to hit that really high note at the end of the beginning when she first arrives in the bubble. We know Ariana always had that really wide range and those super incredible high whistle register notes, but what we wanted to do was develop them a little stronger, to give them a little more vibrato, a little fuller sound. The song that everybody asks about the most would be Popular.
Popular, you're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper voice when you talk to boys, the ways to flirt and sounds. Ew.
Whatever you saw on the screen was just one take. Her voice sounded so great. Now, with most people, I would have just done a simple arpeggio, but because her range is so wide, I would do a longer exercise like this. So it was 2 octaves instead of 1. So So we would do those every day, warming up, stretching higher and higher with a fuller and fuller sound. Then what we started to do was hold the notes a little bit longer, because in musical theater, especially in Wicked, you have to hold notes longer than you normally would in pop music. So we would then do, holding that top note. Then we would start doing it where we held the top note a little longer. I would demonstrate, but I'm not a high soprano, and I don't sound at all like Glinda. But it would be, for example, E. And then little by little, we would hold that note longer and longer with a little more vibrato. So instead of E, it would be more E, stronger, fuller, longer. And that's what we did every day. And a multitude of different exercises, because you always want to approach someone's voice from every possible angle to make it better, to make it stronger, to stretch it so it becomes more limber and flexible.
How many roads must a man walk down?
I first met Timothée Chalamet to work on the movie Wonka with him. Now, I already knew he could sing because I knew he had been cast in the Bob Dylan movie, A Complete Unknown. But the work that we did on Wonka was much different than Dylan, because Wonka, it was a totally different voice.
It's made from ground vanilla, from the markets of Manila.
The challenge, and it was an exciting one, was to sound as much like Bob Dylan, to capture the essence of what Bob Dylan sounded like and how Bob Dylan sang.
How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man?
His dialect, how he pronounced words, what his emotional feeling was when he sang. When I started working with Timothée Chalamet on the movie, all of a sudden I had to pay more attention to Bob's voice. And that was really interesting because I had always thought I knew his voice, but when you really pay attention to it, it's more multi-layered than you think on first listening. So it was really fascinating to hear him at different stages in his life, because it did change from year to year. You know, it's a little bit more youthful in the beginning.
Play a song for me.
And then a little bit more weight. When I'm working on any kind of musical biopic, start with just working with the actor who's in front of me on their voice, teaching them how to use their voice to the best of their ability, helping their range increase, higher, lower, all of those things, getting them to understand how to use their voice. Timothée Chalamet, he's got a good idea in his head what he wants to achieve.
If you went down, you found a fall, you thought they were wrong. Can you?
So my job then is to just help him develop his voice in a way that he can then do whatever he's hearing in his head. You never want an actor to mimic the person they're singing like. You want them to capture the essence. For a lot of the Bob Dylan songs, for example, The Times They Are A-Changin', what I tried to do is have him first sing it on a vowel. So instead of singing it on the lyric, I would have him sing it on wee, wee, wee.
Father loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changin'.
So he would sing that melody on wee, 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 or may, which brings it a little bit more forward up into the mask of your face and makes it a little bit more nasal. Then, once he had it in his voice on the vowel sounds, then I would have him sing the lyrics.
Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled.
May, kind of nasal right up in front, or wee, or me, just to get that placement of where Bob's voice was when he sang it. So once he got it into his voice and I could hear it was spot on, that he really had the right placement, then I would say, okay, now let's go through it on the lyrics. With Angelina Jolie from Maria, I first had a couple of meetings with the director, who's very passionate about everything. And one thing he would say is she must sing every note, she must sing every lyric. She has to do that in order to make this movie great. And so the first day, Angelina came to my house and we started to work, and I tried to get her to do something very simple, like, ee. Nothing was coming out. She wasn't doing it. And she won't mind me saying this because she said it. She actually started to cry. There was a huge block for her when it came to singing. I knew right away we would have to go really slowly. We would have to go really gently. So little by little, I just kept trying to get her just to make a short slide. I think maybe by the end of the lesson, I got a little bit of sound out. But what was really great was that each lesson, she took one more step forward. So maybe the next lesson we did, ee, ooh, just a little bit longer slide. So as she was able to sing those slides higher and higher and felt more comfortable with the notes, ee, then we would start doing it with just 2 notes, then 3 notes, like that. So I would have her do it on something simple, ee, just very, very easy. So it's not too intimidating, not too high, none of the huge high notes yet, or none of the really low notes. We just worked incrementally, and each week I could just hear her getting better and better. I saw her getting stronger and stronger, and about halfway through the 7.5 months, one day she was singing the aria, O mio bambino caro. It just clicked in my mind. This is it. She's got it. She's gonna be great. But I wanted to work on it with her because there's a lot of long notes to get her used to holding long notes. There are high notes, but it's such a beautiful melody, and I just had an instinct that it would trigger Angelina into really loving this process. And I think I was right. And she really did, I think, come to love that aria. And then we were able to branch out onto other arias that I thought were a little bit more difficult. When you're working with actors who are genuinely talented, they are able to take in exactly what you tell them. They're able to implement it really fast because they've got so much experience behind them. That's what keeps it fresh and exciting.